Okay, so Elon Musk, I mean, the guy's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
SpaceX and X, formerly Twitter. It's kind of hard to avoid him these days.
Yeah.
But we're actually diving into something today a little different. Kind of a curveball, really. It's Musk versus the state of California.
Yeah, it is fascinating, isn't it? I mean, we're so used to seeing Musk going back and forth with, other bigwigs in tech, but to see him go up against, an actual government entity.
Right.
And the reason for it is very
Yeah.
California.
It's not exactly Silicon Valley fighting over, startup funding or whatever. We've got two Business Insider articles today.
Okay.
One that kind of talks about Musk's feuds lately in general, and then one that really digs into this California thing. And let me tell you, the details are about as unexpected as seeing a SpaceX rocket, like landing on a surfboard.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it because it all centers around SpaceX and their launches at Vandenberg Space Force Base.
Right.
And they want to increase the number of launches they're doing, which, on the surface,
Seems pretty straightforward.
you'd think.
You'd think.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like there's a but coming, though.
But this is where the California Coastal Commission comes in.
Okay.
Now, most people probably when they think of them, they think beaches, maybe like surfing competitions every now and then.
Right.
But they do a lot more than that.
Wait, so more than just deciding who gets to sell hot dogs on the beach?
Much more, yeah. The Coastal Commission, they're a powerful group, and they're all about protecting the entire California coastline.
Wow.
So think environmental protection, ecological impact, all that. And they have a lot of say in anything that could affect California's coastal areas.
So you're telling me that Elon Musk, who's used to pushing the limits in the name of progress, is suddenly being told by this commission that he can't launch rockets because of the coast?
Basically, yeah.
That's kind of wild.
Yeah, and it gets even more interesting. What makes this case different is it's not even really about the usual environmental concerns about rockets, like noise pollution or debris. It's Musk's own politics that became the main issue, which is not something you see every day.
Yeah, the article mentions that some commissioners were very vocal about not liking Musk's online activity. Like, they actually brought it up in the meeting about the SpaceX launch approval.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really see that every day.
No, you don't. One commissioner, her name's Gretchen Newsom, she even directly said that Musk was spewing and tweeting political falsehoods.
Wow.
And she also talked about how SpaceX might be putting profits ahead of how they treat their employees. So basically, you have this clash of personalities and ideologies, and it's all happening within this decision about a regulation.
It is really different when you think about it. I mean, usually with these discussions, it's all about, is this rocket launch going to mess with the tide pools, or how loud is this thing going to be, an environmental impact.
Exactly.
But in this case, it was about Musk's behavior outside of SpaceX.
Exactly. And it really shows how business and politics and even someone's personal brand are all tied together now, especially with social media. And it doesn't even end there. Musk, being Musk, wasn't going to just let this go. The article says he threatened to sue them.
Really?
Said they were violating his First Amendment rights.
Hold on, a First Amendment lawsuit about launching rockets? What?
I know, right? It gets kind of legally messy here. The chair of the commission said that since the U.S. government was involved through the Space Force, and it was with SpaceX, a private company, that Musk's political statements were fair game. They were saying it wasn't just a private citizen saying their opinion.
So are we talking about like a gray area here between personal beliefs and what a company does? I mean, could this set some kind of precedent for how much a CEO's personal views can be looked at when making decisions for their business? That's a big deal.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder if this kind of scrutiny could make some CEOs think twice. Like, will they be less likely to say what they really think if they're worried it could mess with their business?
Yeah, that's a good point. But we should probably say the commission's concerns weren't just about Musk's online stuff.
Well, yeah.
They had other issues, too.
Yeah, they definitely brought up some more of the typical environmental and regulatory things.
Okay, so let's get into that then. It wasn't all about Musk's tweets rubbing everyone the wrong way. What else did they have a problem with?
Okay, so one of the big things was whether SpaceX, even though they work with the Space Force, should have to follow the same rules as other private companies along the coast.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, the commission said SpaceX needed to get something called a Coastal Development Permit, a CDP.
A CDP. So it wasn't like the government being involved let them bypass all that.
Nope, not at all. They were very clear that a CDP is just standard procedure for anything that could impact California's coastal resources, and that SpaceX's launches definitely fell under that.
And that's where things get a little tense, it sounds like.
Exactly.
So what was causing the tension there? Was it just about who's in charge, or were there real worries about what SpaceX was doing?
It was a little of both, honestly. I mean, the commission brought up a whole bunch of environmental concerns. One of the main ones was how all these extra rocket launches could be affecting marine life, especially because of the sonic booms.
Oh, right.
You know those crazy loud sounds that happen when something goes supersonic? Well,
Yeah.
those sound waves can travel for miles underwater, and they're still figuring out how much that messes with ocean life.
So, like how people worry about noise pollution messing with birds migrating, but this is about the ocean instead.
Exactly. And it,
What?
it wasn't just the noise either. They were also worried about pieces of rockets falling into the water. I mean, SpaceX says they have ways to deal with debris, but accidents happen, and the commission wants to make sure the California coast is protected.
Man, this whole thing is a lot more complicated than it seemed at first. We've got environmental protection, freedom of speech, how private companies and the government are working together in space. It's kind of a mess.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then you add in the whole Elon Musk factor on top of it all. Don't forget that first article we talked about that listed out all his other feuds this year? It's almost every other week there's some new headline about Musk arguing with another tech CEO or disagreeing with some new regulation. He definitely keeps things interesting.
Oh, yeah, that article was wild. He's always stirring something up.
It makes you wonder, though, is this California thing just more of the same from him and his companies? Like, are they just naturally drawn to controversy, or is this a special case because of this coastal commission and all these environmental rules?
That is a good question. It's not like other tech companies and CEOs haven't butted heads with California regulators before, but there's something about Musk's personality, what SpaceX is trying to do, and how strict California is about the environment that makes this a really interesting situation. It makes you think, would we even be dealing with this whole thing if SpaceX was run by someone who wasn't so vocal? You know, someone who wasn't constantly tweeting about every little thing.
Yeah, like what if it wasn't Elon Musk at the helm? It's hard to say for sure, but it just goes to show you how much a CEO's personal brand and what they say can affect a company's image these days. For better or worse, those lines are getting blurry.
And with social media being what it is, every tweet, every comment can blow up. It's almost like these tech CEOs are becoming like, I don't know, modern day philosophers or something. Everyone's analyzing their every word.
And just like those old philosophers, they're starting debates and making people rethink things. But it does make you wonder if it's fair to judge a company or its products based on the CEO's personal opinions. It's a tough one.
No easy answers there. Well, there you have it. Elon Musk versus the California Coastal Commission, a story about way more than just rockets and rules, huh?
Definitely not your average day at the beach.
We talked about freedom of speech, the environment, personal branding, even how business and government are working together now that space is opening up. It's a lot.
It really shows you that the future isn't just about cool technology. It's about the decisions we make, what we think is important, and talking about the tough stuff, even when it's uncomfortable.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this. What other unexpected consequences are waiting for us as technology keeps changing and the line between online and offline gets even blurrier? Something to think about, whether you're reading a tweet from your favorite CEO or just enjoying a day at the beach. Thanks for joining us for the deep dive.